And welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our program brought to you by Southeast Termite and Pest Control. On this show, I like to tell you about businesses that I know, businesses that I use. I use Southeast Termite and Pest Control at my home. Last fall, for example, I told you I was having them spray for their fall invaders because I always get ladybugs in my house. Well, instead of the usual ladybug explosion that I always get right at the end of January, my house is ladybug free. I trust Southeast Termite and Pest Control. They've taken care of my home for years. They do a great job. You should too. Southeast Termite and Pest Control. I want to remind you we do have a special overtime segment coming up this afternoon. We are going to talk about a guy who could be NFL Rookie of the Year, Alvin Kamara, how he was used or misused at Tennessee. Interesting numbers about his Saints 2017 season versus his Tennessee 2016 season. Alvin Kamara, that'll be on our overtime segment. Check it out at sportsource.tv. And they'll post it by 3 p.m. this afternoon, I promise. Okay, we're going to have a new segment on the show occasionally that I'm going to pop up. Because I think it'll probably pop up a lot because there's always somebody ticked off. You can't spell outrage without UT. There it is. Always something. Outrage with UT. And let's go to the first one. First up, Philip Fulmer had to come out this week and explain that it takes time and effort to remove that giant photo of Butch Jones from the Neyland Stadium scoreboard. A lot of folks aren't interested in what Philip Fulmer's selling. They want it gone. He says Chancellor Davenport wants it gone. He's saying, look, we're working on it. Give us time. It's being touted as proof that UT officials don't care about athletics, et cetera, et cetera. So that is one outrage. The second one that came up, a number of fans got angry online this week when they learned that Tennessee would be tearing down a rundown old house where Robert Neyland once lived. Now, it's owned by the university. It's been used for something else for years. My thing is, you got people once again saying the fact that they're tearing down this piece of history only proves that the UT administration doesn't value the history and blah, 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 same thing. My guess is 95% of the people complaining had no clue whatsoever that that house existed or that Robert Neyland lived in it. Guys, my question for you, though, which of these is the bigger outrage? Butch Jones still on the Jumbotron or tearing down Neyland's house?
Oh, Butch Jones on the Jumbotron. Yeah. Easy. It's not even close.
Which are you losing sleep over?
If one of them has to be an outrage, I'll go with Butch Jones still being on the Jumbotron. I went to UT. I've lived in Knoxville my whole life. I didn't know that that house was there, or General Neyland had slept in it, or George Washington or anybody else. And so now people are angry.
Lots of generals slept there. Yeah. Washington, Neyland.
I would really just like to go back before this and say, how many of you all even had a clue it existed?
I remember I got lost on a tour bus one day, and then when we were touring the campus, they said that house is where the presidents and chancellors used to live. No mention of Neyland living there. So I'm not outraged by that at all. No. And also on the other thing, Beverly, Chancellor Davenport had mentioned recently they have ordered a crane to come in to take care of it. I hadn't seen that crane yet. They got a bunch of other cranes over there.
Jimbo Fisher got that. The Florida State got his picture off the Jumbotron. They got theirs off pretty quick. Anyway, on the Neyland house, they could save it. But here's the thing. What are you going to do? Make people pay admission.
Right. Make it like the Christmas Story house.
You want to save it? You come visit.
Make it like the Christmas Story house.
It's Disneyland. You and your family have to come visit it every summer. So
actually, I knew more about where the Christmas Story house was.
See you guys next week. See you guys next week for a signing day preview. Bye bye.
The Sports Source is brought to you by Fast Frame. Shadow boxes come with a lifetime guarantee.